Hi everyone, I'm Jay,
I'm Colin.
and this is Star Wars Conversations, the Mandalorian season finale special.
Whoop whoop.
And so here we are, end of the season,
This is where we are, Jay.
right? And it's going to be a long time before season two.
Well, how long is it going to be?
It's going to be the fall of 2020.
Well, that's not that long.
And it is from now, considering that we're not even in 2020 yet.
I know, but you don't.
Speaking of fall,
Yeah.
I used the force there because you were about to piss me off.
Well, the thing is, I expect a TV series to come out once a year, so it's about a year after it came out.
I think it's because there's been little bits of talk recently about, this is going to come early, but no. And it's already filming it. Yeah, but also, where it ends, it's like, got to wait all this time. And it was only 8 episodes, so,
but
anyway.
What a cracking... To be fair, though, it ended in a really good place. It's not like it's not... I mean, it was a bit of a cliffhanger, but not a cliffhanger. It wasn't a cliffhanger. It was a setting it up for the future.
Semi-cliffhanger, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, before we talk about this episode, should we touch on last week's one? Because we didn't...
Let's talk about it all. Yeah, let's talk about it all, Jay.
So, last week's was Chapter 7.
Oh.
You're going to have to help me with this because it's been like a little while since I've watched it.
Well...
So we're just going to go through this one briefly. But the Mandalorian basically is flying along in the Razor Crest, and
he's zooming along.
And Greef Karga turns up as a hologram, and he's saying, "Hey, Mando, come back over here. I need your help because since you took the package, the Imperials have started taking over. I can't remember what the planet's called." And so, from the moment this happens, you're sort of like, okay, this is a trap. And so,
it's a trap.
So Greef kind of says, look, I can provide a bit of backup and all this kind of stuff. And Mando's like, yeah, I don't believe this. So he goes flying around to all the planets we've seen already, and he goes and picks up Cara Dune. He goes and picks up.
Got to get the team together.
Yeah, is Cara Dune? There she is.
Oh, you got Cara Dune black figure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
He goes and gets Queel.
You could have got the new version of Mandalorian with his new armor, couldn't you?
Not out yet.
Oh, isn't it?
No. And I'll point out why.
I know why.
There's a few reasons why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he goes around. He gets Cara. He goes and gets Queel, and Quill IG-11 turns up. Yes, and IG-11 turns up. And Mando's like, get this droid away from us, kind of thing. And
he's going to kill the baby. He's going to kill the baby.
Because he's obviously a bounty hunter droid, but he's been reprogrammed as to serve. And then they have a little montage of him, learning everything again. So he gets his band together, and basically Quill says, look, if I'm going to go and help you, then the droid comes too, and also a couple of blurgs, because we might need those. So they'll go flying off. They go back down to the planet. They meet up with Greef, and they have a little exchange. Mando's like, "No, I've got my own people," and so Greef agrees, and they go off on this mission. The reason that this episode came out before Rise of Skywalker, spoilers if you haven't seen Rise of Skywalker. If you haven't and you don't want to hear this, skip ahead about 30 seconds. But it's because in an attack at a camp by some flappy dragon creatures, Greef gets bitten, and then Baby Yoda uses the Force to heal him.
I love those dragon creatures, but they like quiet dragons kind of thing. Like Baby.
That was a power that we saw in the new movie in The Rise of Skywalker. They were quite cool. My bit I liked in that though was when Greef was bleeding on the floor, and Baby Yoda started walking towards him. He goes, "He's gonna eat me."
That'd be wicked if he started licking up the blood or something. I'd love that.
I just like his little panic there, Also, I should point out that IG-11's been told to stay on the ship at this point, so he's not with them.
Yeah. He would have been Andy then.
Yeah. So at this point, as they go on,
he'd be quite a good washing line, I Huh? Sort of got that little sort of spin feature. You dry your clothes quite quickly.
Dry your clothes on it.
Yeah.
And he spins round. So they continue on the mission, and at some point, the two other bounty hunters pull their guns, and they're walking up behind Mando, and then Greef turns around and shoots them. And as we all expected, it was part of a stitch-up, but because Baby Yoda saved his life.
He's a wily one, isn't he?
Yeah, he says, "Look, he saved my life. I couldn't do this, so we're all good. I'm on your side." So they go in, and I'm going to go through this quickly. They go into the town, where we see a couple of scout troopers at the entrance to the town, and they sort of question them as they go in. Greef's pretending that he's taken Mando as a hostage, and Cara Dune's been told to cover up her drop trooper tattoos, which when she puts the black bandage on it, the next scene they walk away and she hasn't got it on.
What are they playing at?
Which just got to point out. Anyway,
who directed this episode, the first one?
This one was Deborah Chow, who did number 3, and who's doing all of Obi-Wan.
Oh, is she doing the whole thing?
The whole of Obi-Wan.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, I mean, number 3 and this one were absolutely brilliant.
They did, and they look beautiful.
She's got the action down. She's got the humor down. Like, she kind of gets the Star Wars feel, So they go into the town and they go to deliver Baby Yoda, who's not in the pod. Instead, Quill is now taking Baby Yoda back to the ship, and they've travelled quite far. They travelled overnight, so it's a good distance back. So they go in, and Werner Herzog's there, and they start to make. He makes out he's handing over Mandalorian, and he says, "Let me see the package." And this bit was the stupidest bit, where Greef goes, "He's asleep," and Werner goes, "We'll be quiet." I'm sorry, I don't give a fuck. Just no fucking thing, dude, right?
That was funny.
So anyway, just at the moment that all this is taking place, one of the stormtroopers comes over and says something to Werner Herzog, like just in the nick of time, and he goes over and starts talking to someone on a hologram, and you see Moff Gideon on the hologram there. And he's turned up.
Moff Gus, as I like to call him.
Moff Gus Fring, yeah. So he's turned up outside with a shit ton of death troopers and stormtroopers, and and this, I love this scene because you get to see Moff Gideon's TIE fighter drop down, and
that was wicked.
Fold up. And I had a little geekasm when I saw that. I was like, "Oh yeah, so cool!" Like, and I was just going to my wife, "I've never seen a TIE fighter do that before." So it was just like,
they don't all do that though, do they?
Well, the only time I remember seeing them landed really is they're hanging. I don't know if in Rebels or anything like that you see them on the ground. But I kind of feel like you see a ladder coming down, like they sit on their wing, the ladder.
Normally on like a docking bay or whatever. Part
so,
of full-on wings.
Yeah, so I feel like this is the first time I've ever seen one have its wings fold out, which was awesome. It looked really cool. So anyway, at this moment, just as Werner's talking to him, he just decides to open fire and kill. I was like, why? Like, he killed all the stormtroopers and Werner Herzog.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense,
You just killed your own guys. Like, why would you do that? But I wonder if this is the bit where in the next episode there's a little bit where he goes, he just killed an officer for interrupting him. I don't remember if he interrupted him while he was talking at that point. But anyway, and so Mando and everyone ducked down because everyone in the room got hit except for our heroes.
Yeah, the main guys
with the shots, right? So Mando gets on the mic and goes to Quill, get the damn thing back to the ship, and the scout troopers intercept the message, and they hop on their speeder bikes and go chasing after Quill. There's a bit of a shootout going on, and our gang are trying to work out how they're going to escape. I think I'm getting everything right. I might have missed a couple.
Yeah.
And it keeps flashing back to Quill, like on the blurg, trying to run away. But obviously the speeder bikes are so fast, they're catching up to him. and right at the end, Mando like tries to call out to him, and all it does is he gets no answer. It cuts to just where his ship is, and you see the speeder bikes coming up, and then they kind of do this wicked skid, and one of them scoops up Baby Yoda from the ground, puts him in a bag, and speeds off, and then it pans across, and there's Quill laying there, and we're like, oh no, you couldn't have killed Quill, could you? Because he was a cool character. I Have Spoken, right?
Yeah, I Have Spoken.
Well, we find out in episode 8.
He's dead, baby.
Dead. They killed him. They killed a hero character, and it was a little sad that he died. Because I really liked him. He was a good character. I love the way this. So now we're on to number 8, the season finale. I love the way that this one started out, where you see the 2 scout troopers, and it's something I love is when they show soldiers like them who we always see in a in a battle situation, but they're just chatting, right?
Pulp Fiction and cops and
this one was Taika Waititi that did this one.
Yeah.
And I just like that, one of them wanted to see the package, and it's moving, the other one like punches it in there.
Also, what the whole bit with them trying to shoot that thing, that
there's a can,
bit of scrap or whatever it was.
Because like they pull up, right, and so one of them wants to see him, and he won't let him. And so he's like, all right. And then he sees this like can on the floor. So he pulls out his blaster, starts shooting it, and
misses it every time.
He's missing it by a good foot, right? And so then
I could have shot that.
But what I love is that the other one, the way he starts getting his blaster, I was like, all right, I'm going to show him, this idiot. And he pulls out, and then he misses exactly the same, right? And then he gets his gun, and he's like, right? And I said to Ange, I was like, the only thing that they should have done differently was he should have like looked down the barrel. Right? He should just look down the barrel and be like, huh? Like, like Chief Wiggum in The Simpsons, like he does his ears. Right? And so they're sitting there a bit of banter, and then IG-11 turns up.
How
they're
much
right by the ship.
of a badass is IG-11?
Well, I love it because
this episode, he's just amazing.
Oh, he's awesome.
So much.
But what I like is that they kind of go to him, they're like, hey, droid, get out. And he said, I'm a nurse droid.
Yeah.
And then you're a hunter droid. He goes, no, I'm reprogrammed as a nurse droid. They're like, well, you better get out of here. And he just grabs the first one's arm and breaks his arm and then flips him over. And then the other one, he grabs him, smacks him off, he's unconscious, and then he takes over Yoda. Now, on this, right, one thing that I really want, and I don't think they'll do it, but they should, is those guys were just, one's knocked out and one's got a broken arm knocked out, right? They should make them a thing.
They should make them the regulars.
Like once a season or something, there's a scene with these two, and like you can have it like one of them's got his arm in a sling next time or something, or just like have it like there's a scene, where they're just having a bit of banter and then something happens to them, and just I like them as a little comic relief. I wish that would happen. It won't happen.
Well, what are those tagging binks or something?
Yeah.
Like that.
It'd be just like that.
That's what they should have called them.
Definitely. One of the guys is played by that Jason Sudeikis.
He's the matey boy from.
That was the one who initially was missing the can.
Yeah. And was he the one that punched Baby Yoda? Yeah.
Well, because he bit him, didn't he? And then he but then, so you see IG-11 jump on the speeder bike, and he starts going, right? And Mando's trying to call Quill. He can't get through. They're all like, we're going to get killed here. In the meantime, Moff Gideon pulls out this big cannon, where he gets the stormtroopers to get this big cannon, and they kind of look at it and go, oh man, we're going to lose. And this bit I didn't get either. He goes to them, I'm going to give you until sundown, right? It's like, we'll just shoot him now. Like, why would you give them till sundown? Why would you give them that chance? But anyway, so at this point as well, he says, Rebel Shock Trooper, Cara Cynthia Dune of Alderaan, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, Mandalorian, Din Djarin, blah, blah, blah. And then he says, Grief's name. And Mando's kind of like, it's Moff Gideon. They're like, how do you know he was executed for war crimes? He goes, because he knows my name. And then it does a flashback. Oh, this was cool, right? This flashback was cool because this is where you see Mando when he's a kid getting put in that in the bunker thing again. The battle droid comes out and then it gets blown up. And you just see this. I love the way the silhouette of the Mandalorian came through. It's like with the sunlight, it's a bit blurred, and you see him reach out his hand, and he's like going like that to Mando, like, "Come with me." And as he takes him out of the box, you see he's in blue, and they're the Death Watch symbol on their arm.
Yeah,
right?
That was cool.
The sigil for Death Watch, and you see a few of them come down, and they're doing a battle with the battle droids, and that's really cool. And that Mandalorian that's got him there kind of looks over at another one who kind of motions to him to like get out of there. So he takes the kid and his rocket pack goes off and they fly away. And I was like, that is such a cool moment, man. And I thought to myself, then I was like, surely like, because, you know, there's a bit later on where they sort of explain the founding and all that. I thought surely Mando with his armor should have, in homage to the guy that saved him, worn like blue or something, bit of color on there, you know. I thought that because they looked cooler than Mandalorian does.
Weren't all those Mandos in the same color? They were like a unit.
Yeah, they were. But I thought they looked cooler than he does.
No, I didn't think so. I thought they looked a bit. I thought they looked a bit costumey.
No, I thought they looked good, and you know what it is as well. I realised one of the things I don't like about Mandalorian's armor is the ridges on his shoulder pads, because they make it look really bulky, whereas all the other ones tend to be quite flat.
I like those.
Yeah, I don't. They make him look like his arms are out there, but they're not. Yeah, I don't know.
They make him look like a Cyberman. Oh, not Cyberman, a Cylon.
Yeah, I guess. So anyway, so then it goes back to the scene that we're at, and Mando looks around with his visor and then sees like this gate to the sewers. He said, "Oh, Mandalorians have got tunnels under there." And I was like, "Why did you just see that now? Like, why did you not?" Because it points it out on his visor.
But he must have known that anyway.
But yeah, because he says before to look for it. He says, "Are there exits to the tunnels, to the sewers?"
I must admit, I hadn't twigged that the Mandalorians were hiding and that weren't, because you know, like they're always there. I didn't realise that they were actually hidden from everyone else.
Well, they said it in episode 3. Oh, they call it the covert, and they said that we can only leave one at a time so that our numbers are hidden. Like they don't want to be seen. So that's why when
they walk in single file like some people.
Well, you know, when Paz Vizsla had the little punch up with Mandalorian, he says because of, you know, the Empire, we can't show ourselves. So the
Empire don't like him, do they?
No, they wipe them out, which we see more of later. But yeah, so at this point, Mando gets back on the radio to try and contact Quill, and then you just hear Baby Yoda laughing, and it shows him, and he's like riding on the thing, and he's like giggling away at there, riding through, and he gets through to IG-11. He's like, "What have you done?" You know, he says, "I'm bringing him to you because obviously that's the safest thing, apparently." So at this point,
bringing him to where all the Empire are. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think giving him to the Mandalorian is the most protection you can give him. So which I still don't.
Flying off in the ship would have probably been a bit better.
Yeah. So anyway, he comes flying in on a speeder bike. You see like a couple of stormtroopers, scout trooper there, and he shoots them all, blows up the entrance, and then
kills them all.
He pulls out 2 guns, and he's like riding this speeder bike with no hands, and he's just like shooting everyone in the whole place. And at one point, he spins round, so the body's taking. So his back now becomes his front, but his head turns around, so he's just blocking the bullets from Baby Yoda, and he's just shooting everyone. And I only noticed this on my second viewing, right? But as he comes in, where there's like loads of stormtroopers, he does this wicked jump off the bike. Did you notice that? I didn't know second viewing, and then the bike goes flying through and blows up, and I was just like, that was badass. That was seriously badass.
He's a serious dude.
But at this moment, he's distracted all of the troopers. So Cara Dune pulls out a big gun, and they all start shooting back. And then you see a clip that was from the trailer where Mando comes out of the door and like shoots a storm shoulder, and then like kicks one and like does a bit of shooting. So they have a bit of a scuffle there, and then as IG-11 gets there, they all back off back into the building, and you see a death trooper rock up and put a thermal detonator on the door. They blow it open, and it's a bit more shooting, and then at this point, oh no, sorry, I was wrong. Before that, Mandalorian spots the big cannon, doesn't he? And he starts shooting, and then you see Moff Gideon go to shoot him. He shoots him in the back. He falls down because Mando's still got hit a few times. And I said to Ant, it's like IG-11 got shot less than him.
Yeah.
You know? And so Moff Gideon shoots the sort of like the generator for this cannon, and it does this massive explosion, knocks Mando on his back, and he's out cold. So Cara Dune drags him, and that's why they all go back into the building. They want to sort of bust into this.
And Mando's hurt pretty bad.
He's lying there, yeah, and he's kind of saying to them, take the kid, like, leave me. And she's like,
they're going to go through the grate into the sewers, isn't they?
Yeah, and she's like, I need to remove your helmet to help you. And he's like, no, let me have a warrior's death. And he goes, this is the way.
I am Klingon.
Yeah, although he backtracks on that in a minute. So the Stormies have busted the door open, and then you see Gus Fring go burn them out, and they send in like a flame trooper.
Oh man, I loved him.
It was very cool, eh?
It's just like in BattleFront 1.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
So as he rocks up, he comes into the door, he fires like the flamethrower and burns it all, and then he walks in, and at this moment he goes to shoot, and then Baby Yoda uses the Force and deflects the fire back at him, and like kills him.
It's totally sweet.
And, while this is all going on, IG-11's opening the gate to the sewers, so they're all going to go in, and Mando tells Cara Dune to take Baby Yoda. IG-11 says he's going to stay with Mando, and he's going to, try and protect him. And at this point now, this is where they all go, and Mando goes to him, go on, do it. And he goes, I'd rather you killed me than an imp. And it's like, hold on a minute, what happens to this warrior's death? Because he said he can hold them off, right? So now you've decided you don't want to anymore.
I just want to be killed.
Yeah, right. And at this point, this is the first time we see it. So, IG-11 says, I have to take your helmet off to heal you. And he says, do it and I'll kill you. No living thing's ever seen my face. And he says, I'm not a living thing. And so he goes, okay.
It was well obvious that was going to happen.
It was, but you know what? I liked how they did it.
Good way they got around it, yeah.
Because I do want it to be that he doesn't show his face to everyone.
But they didn't need to do a thing where they had to show his face. That's the thing. Like,
no, but at the end of the day, you're paying Pedro Pascal to be in the show, right? And I expected that we would see him. So
it would be so funny if it had loads of makeup on underneath, and it
like
him.
It made him look like a Reese or something.
Yeah. Yeah, like he's like I don't know, Ugnaught or something. Or he's got a really burnt up face or something. That would be wicked.
But at least he had some scars because he was all busted up and everything. And then IG-11
terrible hair.
Well, it's all sweaty, and he'd just been in a fight, dude.
Like he had a comb over.
But at the same time, I wanted him. I didn't want him to be like, like when Kylo Ren takes his helmet off and he's like that, and then like all his locks come flying out. I didn't want him to be like.
Oh yeah, we know that.
Yeah. So IG-11 used the Bacta spray on him.
Yeah.
Like this will heal you. So
that's good. That will fix the brain hemorrhage or whatever he's got going on.
Yeah, right. So they start walking, and IG-11 carries him, and they come around the corner, and they see the gang, and then as they walk through, they see like in the tunnel just a pile of Mandalorian helmets. Now,
you get the spotlight.
He's got his spotlight on, yeah. But I did see in this pile a few that in episode 3 we saw them when he walked in. So it's like, they're dead, and at this point he sort of tries to ask Greef if it was to do with him and his bounty hunters, and Greef's like, no. And then
you son of a bitch.
And then the armorer comes round the corner, and she says, look, basically after what happened, the Imperials turned up, and then I thought, so this is also Mandalorian's fault because he needed them to help.
I mean, I must admit, I thought there was a moment when I was thinking she's gonna ask for the baby as like some kind of reward, revenge or to pay the debt.
Mm.
Because it's all Baby Yoda's fault, isn't it? Effectively.
Yeah. Well, it's Mandalorian's fault, right? Anyway, so she takes some of the armor, she starts melting it down, and she sort of says to him, "Did you know the way of the rising phoenix?" And he's like, "I learned it when I was young." And she puts a sigil on him. She goes, "You've earned your sigil. You're a clan of two." And she kind of goes into, look, Baby Yoda's foundling, so you're effectively his father until he comes of age, until you can turn him to his people. And so he kind of asks a little bit about the Jedi, which is weird because he was around in the Clone Wars, and surely people have heard of the Jedi.
He wasn't in the Clone Wars. He was in the he was a babe.
He was about 10 years old, right? But surely he would have been aware because
was that even still the Clone Wars? Though I thought that was after
all the
Clone
Wars.
Yeah, it had the battle droids, but I didn't necessarily think it was still part of the Clone Wars.
I think it's part of the Clone Wars, and also
he's well old then.
The thing with he'd only be in his 40s, right? Well, but this is the thing, right? Because in Rise of Skywalker, again, spoiler, but people seem to be aware of the Sith who have been gone for millennia.
Yeah, exactly.
The Jedi who have been gone for like a couple of decades. Everyone's like, what?
Getting my timeline out.
There you go.
Right, let me have a look. So this timeline in the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker Visual Dictionary is based on before the Starkiller incident, rather than like how it used to be before A New Hope or whatever. It's now before the Starkiller incident. And so the Clone Wars ends 53 years before Skywalker incident.
Yeah, and so Mandalorian's 5 years after Jedi.
Yeah. So that is Jedi is
it's like 4 BB1.
30 years before.
Bit of maths.
So 23. So 23 plus 10. Oh yeah, maybe now.
Right. So there you go. So
rubbish.
But people
wiped them out.
Are kind
all of them.
But people are like, oh, these magical wizards, they were an enemy. It's like it was a few years ago. It's like I still, I'm still aware of things that happened when I was a kid.
Well, it's a bit like Han Solo in New Hope. He's like, ancient, mythical stuff. And I'm like, well, no, again, not that long ago.
Yeah, right. Even closer. Right? Yeah. But like with the Sith, when it comes to the Phantom Menace, it's like the Sith have been gone for like a millennium. So it's like, okay, I could get it that no one would know about them, but somehow they do. They're like, oh yeah, you speak Sith? Like, what? Hold on a minute. How do they know about this?
How do the people that make robots know to block that?
Exactly, right? Because, and also, it was Anakin that made 3PO.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank the maker.
Little bit of it's kind of like, really? Come on, story group. You can do better than that.
Pablo, you naughty boy.
Right. So anyway, where we are with this show. So she then gives Mandalorian a jetpack, which is cool. We wanted him to have a jetpack.
We knew that was going to happen.
He said, I'm going to get me one of those. We knew. So she sends them on their way and says, you've got to go through the river of lava. And then we get a really cool scene because you see her kneeling down in front of her furnace and she's sat there with like 2 axes or whatever. And all these stormtroopers come in and do their usual thing where they point guns at someone, kind of like nudge them but don't do anything.
Don't actually shoot them.
Yeah, and then she just jumps up and starts fucking them all up, right? Like, and beating the shit out of them. And on one of them, it was really cool. She smashed the front of his helmet off, like just busted him open. Threw one of them in the fire, like just really kicked the shit out of them basically, and like killed them all. right? And so we're like, okay, she's a badass,
She's
and
a
I hope
badass.
that we see her. I hope she's in it more going forward. I hope like he runs into her again. And so yeah, at this point, they get on this ship, and there's a whole bunch of Imperials outside.
No, first of all, there's that cool R2 droid which has got legs and arms.
Well, oh yeah, so they get to
Cool.
The boat, yeah, and once they get on it, it's like it's a barge. What do you call it, like the sailor or whatever? Yeah, it's kind of like the River Styx, right? And it's an R2 unit that's got arms and legs and it stands up, which I thought was pretty cool. And then Cara Dune, bit of an overreaction, stopped the boat, shoots his head off. And I was like,
did she mean to do that?
I don't know, but I thought it was a bit of an overreaction, right?
I just thought his head fell off. Like, what's going on here?
Shot it off. Anyway, so Mando scans and sees there's a whole bunch of stormtroopers out there and says, we'll get killed. A bit of to and fro with IG-11. IG-11 says that there's no possible way that you can get out of this. I'm going to have to self-destruct.
So,
and then,
did you think there weren't that many stormtroopers there, though?
I didn't think there was that many.
Considering what he just did on the speeder bike and came in and killed all those stormtroopers,
agreed.
I didn't think he needed to kill himself. I thought they were pretty... Between the four of them, they could have taken them. They could have taken them. They knew they were there.
But we all know the stormtroopers would have missed.
But it's the thing, like they were just hiding around the corner, waiting for him to come out. Like you could have just stuck his arms around and shot them.
See what they should have done, because at this point as well, when it showed
those dart things he's got, do you know what I mean? There's a million things he could have done.
Actually, because she told him to rearm himself and put all new ammo. So he would have.
And also, I also thought what he was going to do was get the rocket pack and stick a bomb on it and send it out. That would have done it. Yeah, but then he'd have blown them all up.
But you know what? At this point as well, when it showed the stormtroopers out there, I said to Ange, "Where's all the Death Troopers gone? Because they're special forces, right? Yeah. And really, they should have just, to make that more realistic, had all Death Troopers out there. Because then you're like, okay, they're badass Stormies. You know what I mean? Like, okay, maybe they couldn't take them all, but it was just standard stormtroopers and one biker scout. It's like we can take those.
There only seemed about 10 though. They didn't seem loads.
Yeah, there wasn't that many. You're right. There was about 10. Yeah. Anyway, so they thought there was
nobody worries about 10 stormtroopers. Let's face it.
Even I wouldn't worry. I'd walk into a room of 10 stormtroopers and they'd all miss me. Yeah. But so you get this little bit where it's like Terminator 2, where Din Djarin, that's what I'm going to call him from now, and I hope that they keep calling him that. I wish that he'd done that. I wish he just off the exploder. I wish he just saw his arm. But he has this little sort of conversation with IG-11 saying, "Oh, we need you." And IG-11's like, you don't need to be sad. He's like, "I'm not sad."
He wanted to kiss IG-11.
And he said, "I've scanned you. You're sad." And it's good because obviously he's always hated droids, but he loves it. He likes this one, and I was a bit sad that this happened because he was so cool. I didn't want him to go. I actually wanted him to be. The ending of this, without going too far forward, is that I wanted him to keep a crew. I want him to have a crew. They will reform, but IG-11. If you're going to have a droid, that's a good droid to have with you, right? And now that it's reprogrammed as well. I mean, without Quill, we wouldn't be able to do that again. So we lost two main characters here. Yeah. So IG-11 goes ahead and he walks through the lava and blows up, kills all stormtroopers.
I was surprised his legs didn't melt off before he got there.
But yeah, I was saying that his metal's pretty tough because it went a long way. So our gang eventually comes to the front, and then you see a TIE fighter coming in, and it's Moff Gideon, who of course misses on his first flight through, and he goes, he won't miss again.
But he did.
So Mando puts his rocket pack on. They're like, "Oh, what are we going to do? They've got nothing." And he goes, "I've got a plan." And then as he comes in with the TIE fighter, Mando goes flying up right past the front.
Why didn't Gus shoot them all then?
I know, right? And he was really excited he came in.
Because he was literally flying at them, dead on.
Yeah.
If he'd have just pressed fire, they'd have all been dead.
That would have been it. Game over. So Mando goes over the top of him and he fires his grappling hook. This was in the trailer as well. It was cool. He goes flying behind him and then zips in and uses the rocket pack to fly in and lands on the roof and starts shooting.
It was super cool. That was super cool.
And at this point, he ends up on the wing, and he goes to use thermal detonator, and it goes flying out of the way. And then he gets another one. He puts, was it 1 or 2 on this?
2 on there.
And then he goes flying off into like a free fall, and you just hear Moff Gideon go, no! And then the wing blows up and he goes out of control and crashes. And what I realized is that TIE fighters have really good protection unless you're a TIE fighter pilot. Like if you're a main character, you're all good. Like no cuts or anything.
Well, the thing is, like, I mean, as a regular player of Battlefront, it's very clear that the TIE fighters are designed, they're not designed for defense. They are literally attack. If they get shot, they blow up.
Yeah,
rubbish.
Yeah, they don't have shields.
Yeah.
So there's no time when you're playing Battlefront that I remember where you get blown up in your TIE fighter, but you're all right.
No.
That doesn't happen.
It never happens.
Because we must all jump.
If you crashed on Jakku, you wouldn't survive that.
No.
Especially your coat wouldn't.
No. Exactly. Yeah, definitely not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's crashed. Mando comes down.
No way bloody crashing a bloody TIE fighter, isn't he?
I know, right?
Kylo crashes his.
And he didn't die either.
No.
Spoiler. So anyway, Mando lands. He's not too great with the old jetpack yet, because apparently
he didn't right though.
It'll take a while for it to get to know him or some shit like that. It's like I just control it from here and it'll take off. And so Cara Dune gives him Baby Yoda back. Grief's like, hey, come back, and you can have your
be a bounty hunter, and she can be an enforcer.
He wants her to be the enforcer, which I think she's like, I'm going to stick around to make sure the town's clear. And Mando's like,
are they on Lafole? Is that what they are?
No, it's called Navarro or something like that. Navarra, something like that. And Mando said he's obviously got his mission. He has to try and return Baby Yoda to his race.
The little Yodas.
Yoda. Wherever they are, he's been told he has to search the galaxy and.
He's going to have to. No one knows where they are.
Exactly. So at least we know what his quest is now. And so he gets Baby Yoda, and with his rocket pack, he flies off, and you see Grief and her walk off. And then next time you see Mando, he's burying Quill, and he puts a little grave there, gets in the ship, and takes off. And as it takes off, you can see Cara Dune and that walking away.
I'd have given him a lift.
I know, it's a bit out of order, isn't it? And then it pans across, and you see the wreckage of the TIE fighters, and Jawas have got there already to get some scrap. And then all of a sudden, it starts cutting, a hole starts cutting in it, and the dark saber comes through it.
Who'd have thought you'd see a live-action dark saber? And
Moff Gideon comes out, he's holding the dark saber.
He's like Darth Gus.
Last time we saw it, Bo-Katan had that, right?
Yeah, man.
So what's happened to her? Is she dead? Like, was she part of the purge? Night of the Thousand Tears?
And was Gus one of them that took in the purging?
Well, this is what I think he was involved in the purge. But what I was going to say to you is, do you think that she's dead, or do you think we're going to see her turn up? Because at some point Mandalorian's going to beat him and get the Darksaber, right? Which is, the leader of the Mandalorians has that, right? So is he either going to become the new leader of the Mandalorians, or is he going to return it to Bo-Katan, like another mission? I hope we don't see Sabine, but is he?
We're going to see Sabine.
We probably are.
We're going to see Sabine.
Such a crap character, but
she's got lovely hair.
Like, do you think we'll see Bo-Katan? Do you think she's still alive? Do you think that Mandalorian will return it to her?
I think Mando will unite the tribes. It'd be some.
What? And he'll be the leader.
I don't think it would be the leader. I think he'll set it up and make Sabine the leader.
So anyway, so the last shot we see is pretty cool.
Or Baby Yoda will be the leader of the Mando, because he's going to put a helmet on. I was so hoping she was going to make him a little suit of armor. That would have been so cool.
I thought it was going to happen as well.
I was like, you are now a Mando, and stuck a little thing on his head. With little ears sticking out. Woo!
Yeah, with little holes for them, right?
Yeah. And a little helicopter thing on it.
The last
Mando Babies.
The last shot of the whole episode is really cool. because it's Moff Gideon standing on top of the TIE fighter, and he's got the dark saber there, his cape billowing in the wind, and it's like, yeah, that's badass. And it just leaves us with, all right, okay, he's obviously the big baddie going forward. I also Mando mentioned that he was a member of the ISB as well, the Security Bureau. So yeah, it was cool seeing that.
I don't rate
wanting more.
Gus. I don't like him. I don't
really. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah, I think he's terrible. He was good. He was good in Breaking Bad.
I thought he was good in
and everything else I've seen him in, he's cheesy.
Trading Places.
Well, yeah, but like he's in. He was in that thing where they lost all the electric, that TV show, and he was being in a couple of other things, sci-fi things, and he always plays exactly the same character now.
Oh,
and it's just boring.
I thought he was good in this.
Because what did he do in it? Nothing. He got
he's one of those people. He's more menacing, like
he's not. He's not scary.
Calm. He is. He's calm. It's like he's threatening, and he commands respect of his troops. I thought he was awesome.
No, I think he's terrible. I think he's a terrible baddie.
No, he's a really good baddie. And I think he's going to be excellent going forward. The one thing that I did think they should have done, though, right?
Killed him?
No, and it's something that has been in, like, you've seen a couple of them in some of the comics that you read. In Breaking Bad. Now, spoiler for the end of Breaking Bad, if anyone has
got half a face.
When he walks out, and he's when he came out of the TIE fight, he should have been all busted up, and then he had like a cybernetic eye and stuff like that. Because there was that in one of the comics, you had
There's a few of them, yeah.
They should have done that, like put some robotic parts on there. It would be quite cool. Anyway,
do you think he's got any Force abilities? No.
But here's a question for you, right? Now that we've seen The Rise of Skywalker, and look, I'm going to speak spoilers here, so I hope that anyone's listening has seen it. But in the episode where Mando goes and gets Baby Yoda, and Werner Herzog.
Well, the first episode.
No, was it in like the when he goes back to when he delivers him, number 3, I think it is, and he uses the Predator vision and listens in, and he says, just extract it and be done with it. I don't care if he's alive or dead. And then I was like, do you think they use that?
Midichlorian juice.
Yeah. Now, obviously, like, you can't just like inject midichlorians and then you're a Jedi or whatever. But after seeing The Rise of Skywalker, when Palpatine says, "I created Snoke," and then you see Snoke's just a bunch of clones. Do you think this could be, because this is before the First Order's formed, but do you think this could be like, they want this because Palps wants to create the new supreme leader of the First Order, which is going to be his new thing?
Maybe.
Because
I like to think that
why do the Imperials want this so much? Why do they want to extract from?
Well, it does make sense. It's all part of the Emperor's plan, definitely. I like to think.
For Snoke.
Well, not just for Snoke. It could be. It could lead into the development of Snoke.
Because that's the rise of the First Order, which.
But I like to think of the Emperor jizzing in a bucket and then making Snoke out of that.
I don't.
Shooting it with lightning.
I do not like
lightning come.
There. Anyway. So there you have it. That's the episode right there. That's the season finale of Mandalorian.
So what did you think of the series as a whole?
Yeah. I really liked the season. The only episode that I wasn't a fan of was number 4. I wasn't a big fan of that. That was the one with the village and the ATST. I didn't like that one. No, most people liked that one. Most people didn't like the Tatooine one, but I liked the Tatooine one.
I didn't like Knobhead in the Tatooine one.
No, I didn't like him, and the problem that a lot of people have is that, it didn't further the character, but I just enjoyed the episode. I thought it was fun.
None of them furthered the character.
But
there wasn't any character development in this show.
There was. You sort of saw, a bit more.
I like robots now.
But I just wasn't a fan of that one episode. For me, that was it. But overall,
I did. So I tell you the one I didn't like. I didn't like the one on the space station with the crew.
Oh, where they were escaping, the Batman one.
Stupid episode.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, overall, I really like the show. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, and it's given me what I wanted, which is an entertaining show that I look forward to every week.
Oh yeah, wicked.
Good action. It feels Star Warsy. It's the parts of Star Wars that I like. The bounty hunters, and it has that Western feel. So yeah, I've been really enjoying it.
They did very well, didn't they? Mm. Well done, Favreau and Filoni.
And all the directors that are involved. Yeah. I mean, after this episode, I'd love to see Taika Waititi do a Star Wars movie. I think he gets humour.
Yeah, right? I'd love it too.
That'd be awesome. So anyway, was it? They were talking about this on the John Campbell show, and he goes, there's that Kevin Feige one that he's going to do. He goes, I'd love it. The Kevin Feige produced one. He goes, yeah, and Taika Waititi's going to direct it. I'm like, yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. Before we wrap up, you wanted to tell everyone about
clear a few things off my list, because obviously we've had a bonanza time of Star Wars recently, all the Mandalorians and all the Rise of Skywalker excitement, but let's not forget the good old comics and the books and the games. There's still all that stuff going on, Jake.
All the things that I don't think should be canon.
Well, all these things are still happening. So let me just give you I'm just going to give you a quick update on where I am with comics. Right, I'm not going to go through them all, but I read the 4-issue Journey to the Rise of Skywalker story, which was okay. It was all right. So that's a thumbs up. If you come across that.
Does it have any important information in it that's worth knowing or not?
Not really. I mean, they go to Mon Calamari, and they have to try and get them on our side, and in the end they end up getting them all killed.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that's good. And they don't really achieve much, but there's some nice bits. Rey and Rose is in it a lot, and it's not, it's basically Rose, Rey, and Leia go on one mission, and then the boys go on another mission. It's all, and the boys are a bit rubs. It's all right. It's okay. Then the other ones I've read is the actual main Star Wars title. So, if you didn't know, that has reached issue 75, and that was the end of this run.
Is this one you sent me the stupid pictures of?
Yes.
Oh.
So, basically, this was Greg Pak's run with Phil Noto's art, and I love Phil Noto's art. I have not enjoyed Greg Pak's run. It's not been great. It's basically all leading up to Destination Hoth. So all of the current Star Wars books, well, when I say all of them, there's only 2 ongoing ones, which is Dr. Aphra and the main Star Wars title, have been leading to Destination Hoth, and they've been having that as the top of the banner of the last couple of issues. With the idea that this run is going to take them up to the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, and then they're going to
all this stuff that happened.
Yeah, and then they're going to relaunch Star Wars with a new #1 set after Empire Strikes Back.
Hey, we managed to fuck up all of this stuff. Now let's fuck up some more.
Yeah, let's put a load of more bollocks in.
Yeah, brilliant.
So look, that Destination, that story of rubbish, and there were some horrible bits in it where Chewbacca jumps on Vader, and to be fair, Vader did have a load of thing. He did get a big electric shock before Chewie attacked him, but Chewie attacked him and was fine. And then there was this whole bit where what was that line that Wookiee stupid line in it where the cover is Chewbacca fighting Darth Vader, which, do you know what I mean? It's just stupid.
I just never felt like they had these encounters when it got to Empire.
No. Well, definitely.
And even when Luke fights him, it's not like, oh, I've fought him about 30 times before this. All of a sudden, Vader ain't that much of a badass.
No, he's not. And, so Wookiee and Vader have a little fight, and then in issue 75, it's like they have this classic line where what does he say? Your Wookiee is weak. Which should crack me up. And then like all the heroes are shooting at Darth Vader. Again, it's just crazy. Like there's literally a lineup of Luke, this fella that they found, Leia, Han, and Chewie, and they're all shooting at Vader, and he's just deflecting it with his hand. And it's just like, what is this? And then, because I'm on a planet of rock people,
God, I remember this.
The planet blows up, but all the rock people join up and make one big rock person. So it's only like a big rock monster, like same sort of size as Unicron, fighting off Star Destroyers. It's like, where the hell did this come from? So yeah,
seriously, like the story group needs to start telling these comics.
They need a bit more control.
No, this is just bullshit. It's not Star Wars. I don't count any of this stuff as canon. In my mind, it's just bollocks. It means nothing to me.
And by the way, Dr. Aphra's the one that led the Imperials to Hoth. Just I thought I'd let you know that. The cow.
No, she's not.
So anyway, I don't like Dr. Aphra. That's boring. I don't like what they've done with that character. Sai Spirian.
Is she still a baddie or is she a goodie?
She's a meddler. She's chaos, and she's rubbish. I hate her. I've really gone off that character since Kieran Gillen stopped writing her. And then anyway, so this all accumulates in this number one-off issue called The Empire Ascendant, and it's got all. Basically, it's like a taster for what's to come, because basically there's going to be 4 titles now. There's going to be a Star Wars one, which is going to be written by Charles Soule. Now, I am well excited about this because Charles Soule wrote a really brilliant run of the second volume of Darth Vader, which was really good. Okay. And he's done some good stuff with Daredevil. He's done some really good comics. So I am actually quite excited about him taking over. Greg Pak is doing a Darth Vader story, so I'm assuming he's getting a Darth Vader comic in the future. So I'm not excited about that. There's also a comic called Target Vader, which I've talked to you about, where these bounty hunters are versus Vader, and it's got a bloke with a robot eye. Anyway, it looks like that bloke with a robot eye is getting his own comic moving forward called Bounty Hunters. What? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then there's Dr. Aphra, and again that was a bit. So this Empire. So to be honest, this Empire Ascendant was a bit rubs, and the only good story in it was the Charles Soule one, which sets up. Basically, it sets up that Poe's parents helped hollow out Echo Base. It's the story.
Oh my god.
And they have to get rescued by Luke because the snow falls in on them because they're building a tunnel in the snow and it all comes down on them when I'm melting it.
What a load of shit. Like,
so that's the things to come. So that's basically a roundup of the Star Wars comics. So I'll let you know once the new ones come out next month.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
I
just look forward to hearing how retarded they are.
So, look, listeners, if you are interested in getting into the Star Wars comics, now is the time. It's a jumping on point. They've got new number ones.
If you're interested, just don't.
If I've just tempted you to get into Star Wars comics, now's the time. From January, you've got a load of new number ones. Well done, everyone.
Here's the funny thing, right? I want people to buy comics, like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
I want someone else to buy comics and read them to me rather than
No. But I mean, all the other comics I want people to buy. I want people to not buy Star Wars comics just so that they stop making the fucking things because they're stupid and they are just.
I want them to make. Oh, there was one other comic that I read. Sorry, I forgot about this one. It's called. Where is it gone? It's called The Rise of Kylo Ren, and it's by Charles Soule. I think it's a mini-series, and this tells you about the Knights of Ren and the bloke that used to lead them called Ren. And it tells you a bit about. It's basically filling in what happened with Ben after he has the big battle with Luke at the Jedi Temple, And there's a couple of other Jedis that come after him.
Is this any good?
Should I tell you what? I don't like the art.
Huh.
I don't know why. It just looks a bit funny. I'm not a big fan of these characters, but it's a bit early to tell, to be honest. Because I think potentially it could be good. I'm sort of looking forward to it. I trust Charles Soule. It's got a younger Snoke, and he's been like really nice in it. And he's all dressed up on this weird.
So we're gonna hair.
Yeah. Well, he's got a funny hat. Look, let me show you.
Oh, he has a hat.
Well, look, it looks like hair / a hat. Let me show you.
Oh, this is going to look awesome on the. I hope people are watching the YouTube just for this.
Yeah. Stop everything and watch the YouTube. I don't know. You can't see that.
Where is he? Where is he? Which one is he?
He's the one with the.
Oh, in the top.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, he's got. Like
yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Weird. Yeah.
So, yeah. So, look, I think this could be interesting. I mean, if you're interested on what happened with Snoke, what happened with Kylo, then this might be the comic for you. If you're not interested, it ain't the comic for you, because that's what it's about.
Just listen to Colin's reviews.
So I'll just tell you. If you don't want to read it, I'll read it for you guys. That's the service we offer at Star Wars Conversations.
Colin
I read this shit, so you don't have to. I will tell you everything. Anything you need to know from this bollocks. So there you go. That's that. Another thing I want to tell you about, Jay. Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bloody loving it again.
I've heard quite a few people are.
So I tell you what, they've got a co-op mode now.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And it's much more fun to play because it's like 4 of you, 4 real people on each team, and the rest are AI. And it's a lot more fun to play. You can kill the people a lot easier. You can earn the points a lot better, so you can get the other characters. And it's just like a quicker game. And it's much like the original Battlefront because it's all about capturing the command posts and stuff. It's just much better.
It'd been cool if they did a new campaign mode that was co-op. That'd be quite good.
Yeah, they're not doing a campaign mode. But also they've got a bit new content. They've got they've done that co-op mode for all the Clone Wars era and for the sequel era. I've heard they're working on getting the Galactic era ready. So it's a good fun game again. And droidekas are brilliant to play as.
Really
fun. Yeah, really fun playing as them. So I would just say, if you haven't played it for a while, or you just give it, if you didn't give it a chance, or you played it originally when it first came out, I would say give it another little go because it is a fun game.
I've heard there's been lots of good improvements to it.
Yeah, it really has improved as a game. Really has.
Cool.
So I've enjoyed that. And then the last thing is the Star Wars.
Well, on that visual dictionary, I say hold that for the next episode.
Okay, are you getting it? Are you?
Well, no, I just think it'd be good to like go through it in a bit more detail.
Okay, let's do that.
But we've been going on now for 1 hour and 10 almost. So I
there's
think
so much Star Wars goodness to tell you about.
In our next episode, we can really go into that.
That's a cliffhanger.
I do actually want to get my hands on that.
You should get your hands on it. It's well good. Spoiler, it's well good, guys.
There you go.
So I tell you what, there's 2 things I want to happen in the future.
Go on.
I want a Mando, one of these.
Yeah.
And I want Mando elements in Battlefront 2.
I think both of those things will happen.
They better do.
I think they will.
So I want to be a playable Baby Yoda.
If there's one thing that Disney loves to do, it's make money.
I don't think Battlefront makes them any money.
No, but I think that Battlefront will get more sales if they add stuff like that, and I think that having a visual dictionary for it will get a lot of sales.
Also, can someone please send me Jedi Fallen Order? If anyone's out there, maybe played it, fed up with it, just send it to me because I want to play it, but I can't be asked to pay for it.
Go on, send me one as well.
Yeah, please. I mean, because I understand it only takes about 5 or 6 hours to play, so I don't really want to spend any dosh on it. But I was going
to wait until it became free on PlayStation. But, yeah.
I'm going to wait till it gets to about £10-15 now.
Yeah.
It's gone down to £34 on Amazon at the moment. So
Right.
it's going down. So it was £60 like
Yeah.
a month ago.
Oh yeah, it will drop. It will drop.
So,
cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it for this week. We've given you plenty of us.
Happy New Year, listeners.
Happy New Year. Yeah, it's going to be 2020 by the time we speak to you next.
Maybe even by the time it's coming out.
Oh yeah, all that. I thought you were going to do it now.
Well, it's going out on the video tonight, but
there you go. So
I've got to edit it, and I've got to give it to Daryl, and he's got to stick it up. So,
so 2021. There you go.
Yeah. Daryl might be drunk somewhere. Hi, Daryl, by the way.
So speaking of Daryl is the boss of the TaylorNetwork podcast, which is a place where you can find this podcast, as amongst others as well. Lots of other good ones. TARDIS, Marvel Mix, Goth by Geek, Go Trek Yourself.
Yeah.
About a billion more. You can also find us in the main place where this all started, which is Star Wars Conversation on Facebook. It'd be great if someone would leave us some comments, like things you want us to talk about or anything like that. It'd be nice because, like, some of the guys on the group, like, I checked out a podcast. Well, leave a damn comment, dude. Write something.
Yeah. Or like it, or put a review, because that would all really help. If you want to do that with the podcast, please put a review or something.
Yeah, if you check us out on YouTube, please hit the like button and subscribe. That would also help.
Smash the like, as they say, these kids.
Smash the like.
Smash the like button.
So you can get us on YouTube, get us on Twitter at Star Wars Convo, get us on Instagram, Star Wars Combos. You can get us everywhere else. Just look for Star Wars Conversations or Star Wars Combos, and that'll be it. We'll be everywhere. We are everywhere.
We penetrate and bind the universe.
Galaxy together.
And the universe.
Yeah.
You might just penetrate the galaxy, Jabe. I penetrate the universe.
Right, anyway. That'll do it for this week. So, until next time.
Punch it, Chewie.
This is the way.